I'm a freaky, freaky bitch.
Hey, what is up, dudes? My name is Freaky, and today I decided to do a side-by-side comparison between the Xbox 360 controller and the Xbox One controller. Now, I decided to do this video because there are minor things that normal people would not pick out while watching this video, and I thought it'd be nice to know if you're going to buy an Xbox One or you're thinking about it or anything like that, because the controller has changed some bit. It has changed actually some bit, and you would not notice it if you just looked at the controllers side by side yourself. By handling them and hearing that someone kind of telling you how much they changed and looking at them more in depth, then you'll kind of figure out. So right here is the Xbox 360 controller. As you guys can see, that it's normal. If you guys play Xbox 360, this is kind of the standard of what it will look like. The thumbsticks are kind of stiffer. The D-pad is kind of, it's kind of boring. It's hard to use sometimes. As you're hitting this, it sometimes hits up. Same as this, it'll hit side. It's not very clickable in my sense. It's more of like a rocker. And these kind of get stuck a lot as it's turning on for some reason. Don't turn on me. The buttons are, you know, unique. They're always good, I guess, the buttons, but everything on this controller kind of sticks sometimes. This is stiff. This doesn't work as it should be. We got the standard jack that came with the original Xbox 360. Turtle Beaches, Astros, Tritons, whatever you want to put in there, it'll work. I don't know what millimeter spec for the jack it is, but the only problem with mine is that I always had a problem with it breaking. So here's the back. This is like the charger unit, the big battery pack that everyone hated because it just felt bulky and your fingers can only rest here. And here's the standard triggers and the L and B, R and B buttons. So that's kind of the overview of the Xbox 360. Now, let's go to the bread and butter, which is the Xbox One. And as you guys can see, these are way more easier to, they're looser, but in a good way. They're loose and tight at the same time because they respond better. And it's easier to get your aim on track. Say if you're playing a normal shooter game or anything like that, it's way easier to control. You don't feel like you actually have to push it. It feels like it just goes with the motion of your finger, which is really nice. These are different buttons. They're pretty much, they do the same stuff in video games and stuff like that, but they're actual buttons, which is really nice. Like, they actually press like buttons instead of pressing on these. They don't feel as nice on this compared to this, and it's really nice. The D-pad, oh my god, let me tell you about the D-pad. The D-pad actually clicks and it does not rock. If you guys have gotten a newer Xbox 360 controller, there's a Chrome edition, and it kind of works like this because you can spin it, and it kind of works like this, but it's still like a rocker. This is more of a button rocker, which is really nice, and it actually clicks, if you guys can hear that correctly. It's so nice, and these click a lot better than the other ones. They're still kind of like the standard Xbox 360 controller, but it clicks a lot better. The home button, I like that the home button is up here now, because when I used to play Call of Duty a lot, I would end up accidentally pressing the home button when I wanted to press the start button or the select menu to look up or change my class, and I'd accidentally press this, which would get me killed or just sent up there, and I'd just get really pissed if I was on a kill streak or something like that. So here is the jack. The jack has been changed, and a lot of people are kind of pissed off at that. Right here, I really don't care that it's been changed at all. I'm kind of mad because I can't use my Turtle Beaches, but at the same time, I think the jack needed to be changed because for Turtle Beaches users, the jack would always mess up, right? The jack would end up breaking. The golden jack would just end up not working correctly, or you would get a static key or beeping sound or high-pitched noise, and it was just not nice to have in your ears or your friends' ears while you're gaming, and you wouldn't hear it yourself, but someone else would hear it, and they would tell you to either unplug your mic or whatever. So I kind of like that it's been changed. It's a solid jack now. It fits a lot nicer. I don't think we'll have those problems with like future Turtle Beaches or Tritons or Astros to come. I'm pretty sure that's only a Turtle Beach problem, but you know, we won't have that problem to come, which is really nice. Now the battery pack is nice. It is a battery pack, but you can plug it in and use it as a wired controller, but it is a flat battery pack compared to, say, this. It's bulky, big, This is just flat. It's nice. It fits right in your hand. There's nothing really in your way while you're using this, which is really, 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 really nice. And I really like that a lot. Now, these triggers are really, really nice. They fit to you. Fit to your finger, fit to the curve of your finger, which is nice. They hit a lot nicer, say, than the Xbox 360. There's no response time to it, but compared to this, there is a little bit of a response to it because you feel like you're actually pressing something down, and it curves to your finger, so it's really nice. It fits right into your hand. Same as these, but you can't press them up here. I don't know why that is. It's probably because this is built all right in, run here. But these click a lot nicer than this. If you guys can hear that, it's not like a solid clicking noise, and I really like solid clicking noises. I'd rather get a keyboard that clicks than not click at all, because I like to hear that I actually hit something correctly. Otherwise it doesn't respond to me nice. And this, it's quiet, but you can feel the response, so it's really, really nice. Say you're playing a racing game, you could feel it. There's rumbles in the trigger if you're playing a racing game, or Dead Rising 3, if your ammo is running low, this will start like rumbling. Your right trigger will start rumbling, and it'll tell you that it's running low. And when the weapon breaks, it'll like break it'll break like right here. You can feel it rumble, and which is really, really cool. So I like these triggers a lot. It feels really nice in your hands. Now, so let's go over some specs on the whole actual controllers themselves. So if you guys can see here, let me bring these up. All right, let me just stand up for a second. I gotta make sure I'm getting these in frame. So the controllers themselves aren't that much different in size, but you guys can see here that the Xbox One, I think I'm doing this correctly, is a little bit smaller in length than the, I think I'm doing this correctly, than the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 is a little bit longer. And, all right, so you guys can see here that the joysticks, or the thumbsticks, whatever you guys want to call them, they're a little bit short. I think that's where the toughness comes in, the tightness comes in, and they're a little bit tough to move around, and you can tell that the space in between the thumbstick and the bottom of the thumbstick, or the bowl, is a little shorter. Now with the Xbox One, it's not a lot longer. It's a little bit longer than that, if you guys can tell the differences between the two. There you go, side by side. I don't know if you guys can really tell that. But the Xbox One is a little bit longer, which makes it precise gaming action. I don't know. I like it a little bit taller. It feels a lot nicer. I think that's why I can move around a little easier. I don't know. Maybe it's just because this is flatter instead of rounder around the edges like this one. But it feels a lot nicer in your hands. To move around the thumbsticks a lot easier. I think that's a reason why most gamers like to use an extender on here, like a Control Freak or anything like that, to get precise aiming. And since this is a little bit taller, it kind of feels like you're using one, but at the same time, you know, it's the same one on each side. So I don't know. I really like this. This is a little bit taller. It feels like a lot nicer. It fits in your hand where your thumbs would fit a lot easier, and it's really, really nice. So some things behind the controller and how it fits in your hand. This kind of rests in your hand. You can kind of just like pick it up, and it just like sits there. The triggers just make it even easier to just rest in your fingers, because look, you can just like slide your finger across the triggers, and it's really nice, and it just fits. It just rests in your hand. Now, if you have an Xbox One controller already, you will know that the Xbox 360 feels kind of like crap in your hand. It feels cold. It kind of feels like you actually have to grip it instead of having it rest in your hand, because there's a little bit more of a curve right here, and that's probably because of the battery pack and whatever. But you actually have to grip it, and you feel like you actually have to claw the triggers because the triggers are not curved to the way they are, and the triggers are just like a solid piece of plastic, and it clicks, but no response to it. So I don't know, it feels like you actually have to grip these controllers instead of the Xbox One, where it just like lays in your hand, and it feels like you're using like a remote or anything like that. So it's really, 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 really nice, and I like that a lot. That it just like rests in your hand. You don't feel like you're gripping it. You don't feel like you have to squeeze the controller. The triggers are just so nice, so responsive. Same as the L, R, and RB buttons, or the RB and LB buttons. They're really, really nice, and I like that too. You can pretty much hold it any way you want. Since it's a little bit smaller, it seems like it actually fits. It doesn't have to go all the way down to here. anymore. It kind of just fits perfectly in your palm, and I think that's the whole reason why this one doesn't feel more laying in your hand, and you feel like you actually have to grip it instead. And I really like that about these controllers. They feel a lot nicer. So a little bit over an overview again. The thumbsticks are a little bit longer. The jack has been improved, so we won't have any of those Turtle Beach problems hopefully anymore. The battery pack has been improved. Compared to this one, it's bulky. You can plug it in with a mini USB jack that I don't think comes with the Xbox itself. You might have to buy that. The triggers have been improved. They fit a lot nicer with your finger. They're bigger. They're more responsive. They have rumble packs in them. These LB and RB buttons are really nice. It fits a lot nicer. It's shorter than the Xbox 360. It doesn't have that big of a curve. It's more flat. The D-pad has been improved. It's more of a button than a rocker. These buttons have been improved. They're more of actual buttons instead of sticky buttons that I don't like at all. The home button has been moved because I think a lot of people were pressing it, and I think they kind of got from it. In Call of Duty games, they're kind of annoying to be in right here, say, because the buttons are really close, and that could get really annoying very fast. These buttons are pretty much the same, a little bit more clickier. But that might just be because it's a newer controller. I don't know about that. These have little grippy things on it. I don't know if I told you about that. These are a little grippy. And so if you normally play like this, where your thumb's kind of like pressing against this like that, instead of actually being on it, it could really work actually well instead of this rubberiness where your thumb would slip off. So if you're, say, sprinting, and you want to press it on the side, you could press it on the side. It grips your thumb really well, which is really nice, instead of you having to actually go like this and press down. Thumbsticks are a lot more smoother. They're a lot more free moving, and they're taller, so it makes it a lot of a more enjoyable experience for the Xbox One user. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. It was a side-by-side comparison, I think, between the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One controller. So if you guys are like kind of thinking about it, you're like, what's the differences between the controllers? Am I gonna really care that the differences are that big? It's just gonna be more of an enjoyable experience for me personally, playing with the Xbox One controller than the Xbox 360 controller. Because the thumbsticks feel a lot nicer. I don't feel like I'm stressed out, like having to press it down or move it. It's so stiff on here compared to this. You can see like the differences between how fast they move. The buttons are a lot better on the D-pad now, so that's an amazing thing. I love that. There's not too big of a difference here. These buttons kind of the same, but this fits a little bit better. The triggers are amazing on the Xbox One. Jacks have been changed, battery pack, and that's kind of the huge differences between it. And this one just fits a lot nicer in your hand. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys were trying to find a great kind of thing between these two controllers, if you guys were like, I don't really know the differences between it, do I really care that there's a differences between it? There's not really that big of a difference. It just, this controller feels a lot nicer in your hand now. And I mean, it's kind of a personal preference. If you guys like that, if you guys don't really care how the controller feels in your hand, that's more of a preference than anything. So hope you guys did enjoy this video. This has been the Freaky Gameplay Commentator. If you could drop a like and a favorite, that would be most appreciated. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, share this video with your friends on Twitter and Facebook, and go check out my other videos in the outro, and I will catch your freaky faces in the next video.
What? You should do
5,
that.
4, 3, 2.
Drop the bass. Wow.